Hey everybody, welcome back. I've been getting asked in the comment section to elaborate on my experience with the FBI. And it's a video I did years and years ago, if it's even still up, because you know how that goes with YouTube and videos disappearing and pulling things down or blocking them or making them age restricted, which is basically a death sentence for your video anyway, because then no one can find it. And it's kind of an important story because it was an epiphany for me. You know, the bulb comes on that all of the things that we've been taught growing up about freedom and liberty and all of that, it's all propaganda. It's just not true. We're not free at all. We're basically slaves to a system. And it had to do with the Patriot Act, which is an acronym, and I'll put up what Patriot stands for, because it is an acronym for something. I'll put it on the screen so that you can see what it actually means. But that was initiated after 9/11, of course, by the Bush administration. Pushed that through, and the TSA and all the rest of it, and hung that around our necks. And in 2003, I was in court. I was having a custody battle for 2 boys from my ex, and I'm already in trouble because I'm a male. Don't get me started on that. Things do not go well for males in family court. You're automatically the bad guy in family court. So one day I'm going to meet with the case manager. Case manager is kind of like, for lack of a better description, kind of like a social worker that you have to go and see. And when you go to court, ultimately the judge, he's really not paying attention to you. He's just going to look at the case manager's recommendations and make a decision. So this is kind of important. Again, 2003, early in 2003, I go in, I have my meeting with the case manager, and I walk into an ambush. I'm leaving the case manager's office, coming down the corridor, and there's 2 FBI agents and 6 sheriff's deputies in TAC. I mean, they're ready. They got their automatic weapons and bulletproof vests and everything, sheriff's office. And the 2 feds, they walk up to me and they have a big picture of my face. It's kind of like, you know, when you go to the airport and they get your name for the limo you see in TV or whatever, but it's my face. Are you so-and-so? Yeah, okay. And we'd like to talk to you. Would you come with us? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. I would prefer to call my attorney. It was like, no, you can't call your attorney, and you do have to come with us. You don't have a choice. You're being questioned under the Patriot Act, which basically meant I wasn't a citizen. I had no rights. I couldn't call an attorney. I wasn't being arrested, but I couldn't call an attorney. I couldn't refuse. I couldn't do this or that. I had to go. And so they bring me into the basement of the courthouse and down a long corridor into God knows where. And we sit in a room, me and the 2 agents, because the deputies didn't come into that room. And they interrogated me. They call it questioning or interviewing, but it's an interrogation for a couple of hours. And effectively, I got myself black bagged. And I think about that often, because if I didn't remain calm, can you imagine? If I had been angry or really nervous or something like that, I could have ended up in Guantanamo. Because they basically announced that they could do whatever the hell they wanted. I didn't have any rights. You're not calling your attorney, as a matter of fact. We need to hold your phone during this. You're not going to have access to your phone. Spirited me away. And before anybody says anything like, oh, I would have fought back, you unarmed in a courthouse in a hallway, you're going to fight back against 8 armed men. I want to see that on video. But they interrogated me, and they had been under the impression somehow that I had bomb-making equipment and that I was going to attack the courthouse. This is what their information was. This is what someone told them, which was a complete lie. I didn't have anything like that. I wasn't going to do anything at the courthouse, hostile or violent. I had no intentions of anything like that. And we get to a point in the conversation where I was like, who was it that made these accusations in the first place? Was it, and I threw a name out, I'm not going to say the name, and it was my ex's name, because we were never married, and she had a different last name. So I threw that name out, and I was like, was it so-and-so? Because that's why I'm here. I'm here in a child custody case. You pulled me from in front of the case manager, made me look like some kind of a serious criminal here. I bet you she's the one that made the complaint. You want to guess why? And they left the room for a minute. They said, hold on. And they left the room for a few minutes and came back in, and they said, well, we think we may have made a mistake. We're going to go ahead and cut you loose. And I'm like, well, the damage is already done. Damage is already done. You picked me up in front of the case manager. What's she going to think? And he said, well, I'll call her. Which, to his credit, he did, because she told me that he had called her. But it doesn't matter. It matters how it looks. And it looked bad to her. You just had the equivalent of a SWAT team grab you in the courthouse and escort you away. And the point is that you have to realize at that moment, and by the way, that case went very badly. I did not get custody, and she gave me a very hard time, and she was an abusive woman to those kids. And I got custody reversed in 2007. The court came to me after some more evidence had been brought forward by the oldest boy, our oldest, that she was a hoarder and that she was abusive. And they contacted me and said, would you take the kids back? So they got to be abused for 4 years while I fought the system the whole time. Just to shorten that story really quickly. But effectively, my life wasn't worth a piece of paper. A piece of paper with the right signature was worth more than my life because of a law that gave them the rights. They gave themselves the rights to run over anybody they want, grab anybody they want, do anything that they want. Again, if I wasn't calm, that could have gone very badly. That could have gone very badly for me. And the amount of investment of time and money and energy and effort that went into that as well, because they didn't just show up there. I recognized both of these men. I didn't say that I did, but I did recognize both of them. At that time in 2003, I was a general manager for Family Dollar. I was managing both of their Topeka stores because one store didn't have a manager, and I was going back and forth between the two, running the stores. I had seen them in one of the Family Dollars, coming in and out regularly. One of them even filled out a job application there. So when I saw them, I recognized their faces. And that was for months. So how many months were invested in this? How many tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars of your tax money was wasted to watch me on a false claim? And it came up in court, by the way. My attorney brought it up in court while she was on the stand, asking her if she's the one that made that false claim to the FBI to try to discredit me to the case manager. And she admitted it in court. She said, yes, I did that. Nothing came of it, and nothing will come of it ever. The FBI, because of the way the law is, didn't do anything wrong. They were perfectly within their legal rights to run me over. And again, that could have gone really bad. And I'm sure that this has happened to thousands of people, and probably much worse than what I went through. My experience was pretty minor by comparison to how badly it could have gone, or how badly it may have gone or may be going for many people across the country. But it was a wake-up call to me. I'm not free. I'm not free. I don't have any liberty. Not really. Not if it can be taken away so easily. And that's basically my little brush with the FBI story. for what it's worth. And as I said, it could have been a lot worse, and it might be worse for many people. And if you've had an experience, please feel free to post it in the comment section down below so that we can see, or if you have any other comments on that, put it in the comment section down below. Please feel free. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Share it if you can, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. Check out some of the other videos if you have not, or if you're new. Sharing it's probably the only way it'll get seen. If there's some random cat images mixed in here, they're strays that we help out, and putting the pictures in actually helps with the loading algorithm on YouTube for some reason. They just like cat videos, I guess. If you wanted to help the channel out, there are links for that down below. Every little bit helps, and I sure do appreciate it. And if that's it, then what more can I say but stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.